know what Barbershop P do, pick a side. And LG, he do the same too, pick a side. In Stack City, he gon' need you, pick a side. Who are we? Pick a side. Who are you? Pick a side. You know what Barbershop P do, pick a side. And LG, he do the same too, pick a side. In Stack City, he gon' need you, pick a side. Who are we? Pick a side. Who are you? Pick a side.
Hoodlamb, Hoodlamb Apparel.
Pick a side. It's mandatory.
It's mandatory. I was waiting on it.
Hey, get off my Zoom.
How's your Zoom? I got the end button.
What's good? What's good, everybody? This is the team back again. Pick a side. How y'all doing? You got me, Barbershop P, my guy, my brother, Stack City, repping the Trefo, Cuzzo, favorite cuz, LG. How y'all boys doing?
Good.
All right, man. This is a lot of people want, you gotta get the people what they want, man. And this question right here is concerning relationships, man. And we live in an era where I feel like we place so many unrealistic expectations upon ourselves and our partners. And because of social media, you might see this and try to keep up with the Joneses, or you feel like you should be in a better position and all of this other stuff. So it's so much that interferes with your relationship and your partner, whoever you with, whether it's your wife or whatever. Like I talk to people and I hear these things often, and it makes me wonder, like, okay, so in this era, what is the expectation? Because we're not in the 50s and 60s and even early 2000s, 90s anymore, but we have a situation where it's like a lot of, I don't want to single them out, but it's like a lot of women, in a sense. It's like you want a man from like a certain era of like your dad or your grandparents, but you don't even want to, uphold like simple things that like are, like what you would think the norm would be for like a man and woman in a relationship, like as far as cleaning, cooking, anything like that. And I'm not saying a woman only has to do that, but it's like, if you want me to do X, Y, and Z, you have to, like, where's the middle ground? Where's the balance at? Like, if I'm doing X, Y, and Z, I shouldn't have to, do this, and this. So my question to you guys is, you guys are married with your wives and things like that. So like, how do you keep those expectations at a normal level? And just how do you keep it going to where, you keep a happy marriage and like things like that? Because people can't even stay in relationships. Like, we're getting married at such a low rate right now. So it's like, and I think it's because people have these crazy, unrealistic expectations. So it's like, what do you do? Like, how do we change this? Or how do we bring it back to a middle ground?
Well,
Big side coming in hot today.
LG has been married almost twice as long as me. So I think I'm gonna defer to him and let him go first on this one. Because I'm still trying to figure it out. I want to learn from him.
I have
So, huh? Yeah,
You've been married for a while, cuz, like, since you was early 20s, sir.
Yeah, you definitely.
You inspired me, bro.
Early 20s. I was early 30s. So you almost doubled what I have.
Really? I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah. So I want to.
So
from somebody that's been there a lot longer than me, brother. I'm interested myself to learn.
This is a tough question because we live in a different day. So like,
yes,
I don't know how much I can share. But okay. So like,
just answer the best of your ability. Give me your experience, bro, and how you keep.
Keep it general. You don't have to be specific to your situation.
So like, I think we live in a new day. So like, I don't think it's the now. Okay, so I got a lot of married friends, couples, and I do see the marriages where it is like it was back in the day, where like the man is out working, breadwinner, doing all that stuff, and then there's like stay-at-home moms taking care of the kids, cleaning and cooking. I got those friends. But then I got those friends where they're both working and they're both partaking in the cleaning and cooking. And then I got those friends where it's the woman that's making the most money. So I think at the end of the day, it all boils down to your love for one another and your relationship. So like for me, I think a lot of times what happens is when people get married, like most times when people meet, they meet and they become friends. They befriend one another. And then that friendship grows into like some type of romance, a level of intimacy, a level of attraction. Mm-hmm. And then you got so you got friendship and you got attraction and you got romance. And then that turns into marriage possibly, right? But then when you get married, it becomes a partnership, and those things that you befriended each other upon, those things kind of go away once you get married, because marriage now takes on new responsibilities. So like when you first met your person, y'all didn't have kids, or y'all might didn't even have jobs yet, or if you did, you might have had a different job, or you might have been still working on a degree, or you was at a different place in your life. So then when you get married, now you have kids and you have this job or that job and you have this out of school, and now you have their family, they have your family, we call them in-laws, and now you have to share holidays and so it's a partnership. And I think what happens, trying to get into like what P question is, I think what happens is that we kind of, I'm trying to see, like, if you don't have that, if you don't have that foundation of friendship to fall back on, your marriage can become competitive. And it can be like, well, what did you do? Well, you mad at me because I didn't do this, but did you cook the other night? Or and then it gets silly, like me
like little petty stuff.
Yeah, it'd be like petty. It'd be like, well, I didn't cook because you wanted me to paint the wall, like So it's like those things. And then what happens is, like we was talking about this earlier with sports debate. Then what happens is you start hitting below the belt with personal attacks. So like now I'm mad at you because you didn't do a responsibility that I thought as the husband or as the wife that you're obligated to do. So I'm gonna hit below the belt. You just like your daddy, or what I'm saying, my mama told me not to marry you, or or whatever it is. And next thing you know, the divorce rate is going up. And when you ask people why they divorced, it'd be like, you be like, that's why y'all ended? Like, right. And so then you got these single people, who have that to look up to. So it might intimidate them to, want to walk into that. It's kind of like, even from a Christian perspective, church folks that put a lot of pressure on you to do right. It intimidates the person to come in, because it's like, you got all these to-dos and to-do nots, all these rules and stuff. Like, it's like sometimes, if you don't have that friendship and that level of communication to rely on in your marriage, it can turn into a rule book. Like, well, you better make sure you do this, this, and that if you want me to do this, this, and that. If any of that makes sense, I'm just trying to give feedback based on, all married friends I know, my own marriage. Like, everybody has these things that we deal with, and that's a mouthful of a question.
Right.
Stacks,
before you get to Stacks, I gotta ask you something though. Like Stacks said, you've been married longer than Stack. Of course, I'm not married, so the divorce rate is very high right now, especially in America. Higher than any other country. America has the highest divorce rate, like way high. So what do you do to make sure that doesn't happen with you and Lisa? Like, what are the, you know what I'm saying? Like, do y'all go back to those foundations? Is it based off, like you said, your friendship? Like, how do y'all keep that from happening and prevent that? Some people just stay together for kids, which is a bad situation. Mm-hmm. So how do you do that? How do you keep it? How do you know what I'm saying? Keep that marriage going good and strong, like our grandparents and stuff had.
Like, I think more people should marry for God. I mean, more people should marry because you feel like it's the God thing to do, and not because they got a good job or they look good or because of. And here's another thing that happens: people always marrying people. People can marry folk based on what they believe they will be.
Potential.
Like they'll be at the altar. Dude might be unemployed, right? Might be uneducated, but they like him so much as a friend or whatever that they're marrying him based on what they hope he might become. Then when they're married, if it don't work out, they're going to argue, they're going to fight, and they're going to, you know what I'm saying? But I think for me personally, our foundation is built on God and friendship. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where it starts from. And, you know, and I mean, not to be too spiritual, but anybody that's designed to be married, I would definitely encourage you to make sure, you know, you both have God in common. If you don't have nothing else in common, you know, have your love and your passion for God in common. You know what I'm saying? So that, I mean, that's what I think for me personally. You know what I'm saying? But like, everybody argue, everybody has their ups and downs, everybody has their moments where they're like, boy, I done messed up. Why did I do this? Let me get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody argue, everybody fuss, everybody fight. There's no perfect church, there's no perfect marriage, there's no perfect person. And I think you have to go into it understanding that, and it's a learning process and it's a growth process and it's a building process. But you know, also like for me, I don't quit easy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't just divorce you because we argued over who ate the last chicken wing. Like, man, this is crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it gotta be, you know what I'm saying? It has to be something a lot more serious than that. I think people attention span, and I think people's level of tolerance is not as high. So as soon as you do whatever you do too many times, you know, it's a wrap, bro. So like divorce rate is going high, marriages are not looking good. I agree with that. Stack City, what you got?
That was you said a lot, brother. You know, and I don't know where to start, but I'm gonna just jump right in. So you said that I'm gonna go at it from this angle. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. All right. Every person is different. Every situation is different. Every relationship is different. Every marriage is different. So it's no like, there's no one way to do it. You know, like LaRon gave the example based off his experiences of you become friends first, then you start dating, then you get married. My wife, and I say this in the most respectful way possible. And I think my wife will confirm this. I pretty much let my wife know that, like, yo, I'm trying to talk to you. You know what I mean? Like, and in so many words, I was letting her know, like, if you don't feel the same, like, I'm not really interested in being your friend. You know what I mean? So like
that sounds like Stack City.
Right.
But at the same time, I've always
Stack said you the one.
No, I didn't. So that ain't even it, because I've always been like that with one exception. You know what I mean? As far as my track record, with one exception, I've always been like that. Like, I just let them know up front. You know what I mean? Like, if I was attracted, I let them know up front, yo, this is what it is. You know what I mean? If it's not that for you, then, you know, like, we could part our separate ways. You know what I mean? Like, and I would be like that, like, for I'm talking about the past situations, and I knew they weren't the one. You know what I mean? But I didn't need any females that were friends, in my opinion, like in my mind. You know what I mean? Like, I know, like, me and LaRon are totally different in that regard. Like, he got a lot of females that are friends that he was friends with before he got married. Like, they were his sister. He called them his sister and his friends, which, you know, I always looked at that, and, you know, I was like, wow. And I've said this to him before. I was like, wow, like I've never been like that, because I had 3 real sisters, like blood sisters, that I grew up in the house with. You know what I mean? And I've told LaRon this. I was like, I didn't have any females that I called my sisters because I had real sisters. You know what I mean? Like, You know what I mean? So like I wasn't really interested in having female friends because like I had my real sisters that I could go to if I ever needed to go to a female. And then and I was at a stage, you also got to look at the stage in life I was at too. I was at a stage in life to where like I didn't see the value in female friends. And I'm not even talking about before I was saved. I'm talking about before I was saved and after I was saved, after I was a Christian. I didn't really see the value of having female friends, you know, like outside of, you know what I mean? Like I didn't see the value of having female friends. So like if I wasn't trying to talk to you, you know what I mean? Like I didn't really see the value in having it. But there were exceptions. I did have friends, female, I did have a few that were friends. But the ones that I had that I was friends with, we had something in common, whether it was music or whether it was a love for sports or whether it was like we had something in common. You know what I mean? Like we wasn't just friends just because, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that was a bad or a good thing. I'm just highlighting that everybody's different. All right. So back to my situation, I pretty much let her know beginning, like trying to talk to you. I didn't know necessarily like how things were going to end up between me and my wife. You know what I mean? So when you say like P, when you say, you know, like you the one, nah, that wouldn't it. I was always like that when it came to females. You know what I mean? It was more or less just my mindset. But like, as far as that question you asked, the original question though, I think you got to be evenly, regardless of your situation, how it starts. I think you got to be evenly yoked. You know what I mean? Like you got to be on the same page. You know what I mean? Like I don't think none of those things. I don't think there's a wrong answer with any of those.
That's it. Equally yoked.
Yeah, you got to be equally yoked. If the male is the one out working and the woman is a homemaker in the house, cool. As long as y'all on the same page with that. If it's the reverse and the female's working and the man is at home, cool. As long as y'all on the same page with that. If both of y'all is out working and both of y'all is, you know, you just got to be on the same page. Whatever the situation is, I think you both got to be on the same page. I think where the issues come in is where somebody fakes being on the same page. You know I mean, and they reel somebody in, and then once they're together all the way or married or whatever the case may be, they switch up, you know? Or like LG said earlier, you marry potential and you think you can change a person, you know what I mean? Then you got a problem, you know, but so in those situations, it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well. So when it comes to, like you said, P, this is not the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s. This is 2021. And, you know, you said females want a male that's like their dad and grandpa, but they ain't willing to do stuff, you know, like their mom and grandma did, you know? Well, if that's the case, then a male, like from a male perspective, like somehow you got to figure out a way to know that about the female you're talking to, you know, and be like, all right, I'm with that, you know what I mean? I'm with playing that role, or I'm not. You know what I mean? Like if you're not with that, all right, you know, deuces, you know what I mean? Move on to a different situation. You know what I mean? Don't think you can change the female, or like LG said, don't marry because you think she look good or she got a nice body or whatever the case may be. You know, like let that female, like let her have those desires in her potential mate. There's nothing wrong with a woman wanting a man from that era, you know, and not being a woman of that era. All right, she can want a man from that era, but not be a woman of that from that era, as long as she finds a man that's okay with that. You understand what I'm saying? Like if that's what she wants, fine, it's not a problem. You can want a man like your grandpa, but you be a woman, you know, who's not like your grandma. Just make sure the man you find, like he's okay with that. If he's okay with that, who am I to say that it's right or wrong? You know what I mean? Like who am I to say that is or is not how it should be? You know what I mean? So, but if you're saying all females are like that nowadays, all females, I would say that's not the truth. That's not the case, brother. You're probably looking in the wrong place then. You need to switch up where you're looking at. If all the females you're talking to now are like that, then you're probably looking for females in the wrong places. You know what I mean? Like we got a world full of places to look for women at. And all of them ain't that mindset. All of them ain't the mindset of, you know, like this, that, and the third. Like, I want a man this, like this, that, and the third, but I ain't that type of woman. All females ain't like that. Just the ones you're talking to are like that. It's a whole world full of females that ain't like that. You know what I mean? Maybe you need to switch up where you look. Maybe you need to switch up where you live. Maybe you need to switch up how you're finding them. Go through a dating app. Like go sign up for a dating app and put in everything you want for a woman. You know what I mean? And make sure you're getting back responses that meet what you want. You know, but you can't complain about a woman wanting that. I mean, you can complain about a woman wanting that, but at the same time, like you can't complain if you're gonna still move forward with that woman. Don't try to change that woman. You know what I mean? Like, so like I really don't understand the question. Now that I'm talking my way through it. Now that I'm talking my way through it, I don't understand the question. You know what I mean? Okay, like be a female who wants that. Fine. Yeah, you can want that. That don't mean I gotta be with you. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? So, I mean, the world has 8 billion people in it. You know, it's majority women. You know, so out of 8 billion, at least 5 billion of that 8 billion are women, right? So you mean to tell me it's 5 billion women that all had that mindset? Go find you a different woman, man. Go look somewhere else.
There's more fish in the sea.
Yeah, more fish in the sea, brother. And it's a lot more water. It's a lot more water in the world than it is land. You feel me? So like, it's more fish in the sea.
Right.
But that's good, bro. My answer, bro. That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it. Where P at? P done disappeared on us.
Yeah, he did.
You know, that's
a good answer, bro.
Yeah, that's how I feel about the situation.
Boy, but, that's a hot topic. Take the side coming in hot.
And we got to, man. We got to address all situations and all issues, and that's one we haven't touched on yet. We haven't touched on male-female relationships. So, we plan on getting into everything, right? So we're gonna get into.
Oh yeah, we diverse.
We diverse. Man. We diverse, and everybody know we're men of faith. We're Christian men, and you know it talks about relationships in the Bible. You know, male-female relationships. So we're not gonna be afraid to address it either. You know, you can like it. You can like how we address it. You can not like how we address it. But at the end of the day, we're gonna try to address, you know, like everything within reason. And some of the stuff we address ain't gonna be within reason. You know, it's gonna be a bunch of nonsense. But at the same time, that's a part of life. It's a part of growth. It's a part of maturity. And that's what Pick a Side is about. You know, it's about our audience getting to know us getting to know them, and us all growing together to become better people. You know, so that's my answer. That's my answer. I don't know how much of that you heard, P, but as I was talking my way through it, man, I just felt like, hey, at the end of the day, I don't even understand the question no more. You know what I mean? Like, it's 5 billion women in this world. You know, like you go find you a different woman. Go look in a different place.
Yeah, I'm just saying in general. That's for like men and women. Like, I just feel like both have unrealistic expectations. Like, I don't know, like. It's crazy, man. But I think, like I said,
is it unrealistic expectations, or is the expectations okay? You just either like it or you don't like it, and you move on. You find somebody
who creates the expectations.
Yeah, you find somebody that meets your expectations. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, it's billions of people in the world. Now you can date somebody on the other side of the country just through these apps, through the internet, through these dating apps. I ain't even got to stick to my city no more. You feel me? Like, I know people that are moved because of a relationship that was somebody on the other side of the country that they met in a dating app.
It's
thousands of situations like that now. You know
I got
what I mean?
A married couple that I'm friends with that met through a dating app, and they're happily married for about 10 years, a couple of kids and everything. So
that's what I'm saying. So so unrealistic. Like LeBron said, who sets the expectations? That's number one. Number two, it's not unrealistic when you literally can date anybody in the world nowadays. Like, you literally can reach out to anybody in the world. You know what I mean? So like, and you can type in your expectations. Like, when you're dating, you can type them in. Like, and it's gonna bring back results. It's gonna bring back results
that match you up.
But see, I don't think enough people actually do that. Like LeBron said, a lot of people don't even have a foundation. Like, a lot of people really don't even have a foundation, bro, like to like fall back on if things do get out of whack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just think people just rush into certain situations, and then some people like might get with somebody for comfort because they're low self-esteem, or they have a situation that they're trying to get out of. Because I tell people all the time, like, you know, this is my last year of my 20s. I'll be 30 this year.
Right.
And I was around a bunch of grown people and adults that were way older than me, especially working in the barbershop at such a young age. Like, and I would talk to a lot of married people, and we would talk about settling a lot. And I would be like, so what's really settling? Because if I found somebody that I like and I rock with and take good care of me and I take care of them and we vibe good, and how's that settling? If you play around and date a bunch of women and then you go with the last man standing, then that's settling to me. And that's exactly why your situation didn't work out, because you settled. Like, that's settling. If you play around and you go with all the different girls and then you stick with the one that was the last person there left for you
2 minutes
by your side, and you say, well, I'm gonna go ahead and wipe her up. That's settling, bro.
And also, I like to say, in my opinion, marriage is for mature people. You like
it's either for mature people or it's for two immature people that are willing to grow together.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
Hey.
Twist it up.
Okay, City.
Right. Grow.
Hey,
grow, mature together.
Grow with us.
Yeah. Grow with us.
Well, man.
Yeah.
That was a great conversation, fellas, man. I don't know what happened on my end. I had some technical difficulties that booted me out, but
we kept it rolling.
Hopefully everything.
HOODLAMB. Ron
Yes,
Scott,
sir.
brother. Hey, listen, go ahead and get your man or your woman something from Hoodlamb. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Get
for
your
real.
man or your woman
For real.
something from Hoodlamb.
There you
They ship
go.
all over the country. HOODLAMB.shop. That's the website. Or go to Hoodlamb Apparel on IG. Click the link in the website. Get you anything. We got 1 minute left, man. Go ahead and close out, P.
Hey, man, y'all already know. Short and sweet. Pick a side. It's mandatory.
It's mandatory. You already know. And we out.